Before going to know the definition of the formula and as well as the how to frame a formula, so let us know about an equation. So already we are familiar with the definition called the equation. It is nothing but the statement of equality of mathematical expressions, of two mathematical expressions or two algebraic expressions. An equality with two mathematical expressions or mathematical algebraic expressions will be called as an equation. Then let's write the definition of an equation first of all. So here equation a statement of equality of two mathematical expressions is called an equation. Let us have one example. So here the example under the equations are, one is 5x minus 7y equals to 15 and 2x plus 5 equals to 7x minus 15, whereas these two will come under the examples of an equations. So here in the first equation the left hand side quantity is of 5x minus 7y, in which there are two variables. It is a two variable equation, whereas it is equated to 15. So there are two algebraic expressions, one is of 5x minus 7y and on the other hand 15 is another algebraic expression with single term, so which is 15. So equality with two algebraic expressions will be called as an equation, whereas in the second case 2x plus 5 is one algebraic expression on the left hand side of the equation and 7x minus 15 is the another algebraic expression with variable as x on the other hand, that is the right hand side. So equality consisting two algebraic expressions with only single variable, that is x, will be called as an equation, whereas here a double two variable equation, the two linear equation, because x degrees of 1 and y degrees of 1. So both will come under the linear equations, whereas the first one is the linear equation with two variables, the second one is the linear equation with a single variable. Now coming to the definition of the formula. So here the definition of the formula is an equation which expresses the relationship between the two or more quantities is called a formula. So here an equation which expresses the relationship between two or more quantities is called a formula. So this is the definition of a formula. So it is nothing but an equation which expresses the relationship between two or more quantities in it is called a formula. Whereas as the note here I expressed the singular form, that is formula. So formula is a singular one. If there are two or more than two, then they will be called as the plural in number. Then the plural pronunciation is of formulae. So apart from this, So, in the definition it is nothing but a formula, is nothing but an equation which is expressing the relationship between two or more quantities in it present in that formula. So, present in that equation is called a formula. Then for instance, area of rectangle. So, here let us write one formula. Example, area of rectangle is equals to length of the rectangle into breadth of the rectangle. Whereas generally, so here area denoted by capital letter A is equals to length of the rectangle denoted by L into breadth of the rectangle denoted by B. Here this is an equation consisting three different variables in it. One is A, the other is L, the other is B. So, here this equation is expressing a relationship between area, length and as well as the breadth. As the length and breadth increases, then automatically the area of that particular rectangle also increases. As the length, the measure of the length and the measure of the breadth of the rectangle decreases, then automatically the area of the rectangle, particular rectangle also will be decreased. There is such a relation. As two quantities increases, the third quantity also will be increased. So, there is such sort of relationship between the three quantities present inside the formula, that is A equals to L into B. Therefore, A is equals to L into B will come under the formula. Then now, how to frame a formula here now? Framing of a formula. So, now, so we are going to frame a formula. To frame a formula, first of all we have to express a statement in words into an equation. So, expressing a statement in words into an equation using literals or the variables and as well as symbols is called the framing of the formula. So, here this framing of the formula consists of expressing a statement which is in words into an equation using literals or the variables. Literals are in other words the variables, and as well as symbols such as plus, minus, into, divide by. Is called framing of the formula. So, here to frame a formula, the statement which is given in words into an equation. So, we have to express the statement into an equation by using the variables such as x, y, z's and symbols such as equal to, plus, minus, into, divide by. So, here the variables are literals which are to be used as x, y, z, and these symbols such as plus, minus, into, divided by. So, you will be using these sort of symbols to frame a formula. For instance, let us frame a condition into an equation. For instance, number increased by 15 is equal to 45. So this is the statement which is given for us. So we have to write this statement in an equation form. That is nothing but the framing of a formula. Formula is nothing but the equation. So here formula is nothing but an equation expressing the relationship between the two or more quantities in it will be called as a formula. So that's why. So first of all, we have to express, to frame a formula, we have to express this statement which is given for us in an equation form using variables x, y, z and as well as the symbols called the plus, minus, into and divided by. So here now the solution starts now in order to frame a formula by using this statement. First of all, let us study this formula. So the statement which is given for us is a number increased by 15 is equal to 45. So here number is unknown. So that unknown number must be assumed as one literal or an variable. So here, so we have to assume. So this number which is unknown. So number is not given, but that number must be increased by means of 15. When it is increased by 15, so 15 must be added. When it is decreased, instead of increased, if it is decreased, we would have subtracted. Since it is increased, so we have to add 15 to this unknown number. But if I assume this unknown number as x, then up to this extent, so I will be getting unknown number as x, that is a variable, increase, that is plus, by means of 15. So I will be getting x plus 15 up to this extent is equal to, the symbol which I am using here is of equal to. So here I have to write here not only symbols this I say here, I can use even equal to sign also. So here is equal to 45. So in this manner I say here, first of all, so your solution starts now. So in first case, let the number be x. So here as per problem, number increased by 15. So here number is increased by 15. So automatically that implies, so here number we assumed it as x. So here since we assume the number as x here, so number is increased. Increased means we are using what I say here plus symbol by means of 15. So here that implies, so number is x and it is increased by means of 15. So here, but as per problem, number increased by 15 is equal to 45. When that implies, so here, so implies x plus 15 is nothing but the number increased by 15. So number increased by 15, as per problem number increased by 15 is of x plus 15. So that is equal to is nothing but the symbol equal to sign, is equal to the value that is 45. So therefore, so this is the formula which we have utilized here. So therefore the equation so formed. So here therefore equation or the formula so formed is x plus 15 is equals to 45. So in this manner we have framed a formula where an unknown number